Someone told me years ago that a leader was a person that saw something that was wrong and did something about it and made some decisions and tried to correct that. I think when it comes to being leaders, women, they automatically have that gene because they are managing their families and they're doing all these number of things. I've always had that when I've seen something. I've always thought, well, what could I do to make that better? My name is Elaine Houston. I just became a doctor, not a medical doctor, but I earned my doctorate from St. John Fisher University. I earned it in executive leadership and social justice. I went to school for nearly 3 years. It was overwhelming at times working here. Sometimes I would stay here and study until 11 o'clock at night and then go home. Many nights at home I would be up for 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, then I'd have to come to work. So it was very, very hard. I think compounding it was the fact that I didn't go to school locally. I had to get in my car and drive on Fridays to Syracuse. I had to take off work. I used all my vacation days every year, so I didn't go on a vacation. I mean, I traded a lot. The cost was very high for me. I understand why a lot more people don't have this degree. It's very, very rigorous. I'm truthful. There was a lot of crying. There was just the pressure of having to have a 30-page paper done in 2 weeks and references. Just the pressure of not only doing that and the program that I was with, I not only worked on a dissertation, but I also took my classes. You know, there wasn't any bend in it. It was just that kind of constant pressure. I got my master's degree from Empire State University, and I got it in International Women's Studies. I've had the great fortune to travel to other countries, and I realized that a lot of people never get that opportunity to get an education. When you look at doctorate degrees and the number of women, there are probably, I'd say, less than 6% of women have a doctorate, and I know that African American women's, I think the latest numbers I saw were like 3%. And you know, I'm the great-great-granddaughter of a slave who, you know, never got an opportunity to go to school, who didn't even have a name. And so all of those things were sort of like going on in my mind. This is an opportunity. Getting my master's really taught me that I could do this. I could do this. Out of my master's came today's women. And I interviewed all these women, and they're all doing these great things. And I had to remind myself, wait a minute, if people are doing all these great things, you're asking women, what are you doing? If you want this degree, you better get it. I kind of kept that in the back of my mind, that if you could just stay with this until this date and this date and this date, you'll be done. And that's how I was able to just keep doing it. I have always used my education to change the lives of other people, to investigate things that are going on, to say to people, have you ever thought of this, or did you know this was happening? I hope I get the opportunity to use this degree to do some things that I perhaps have not done yet with stories, and because it is in social justice, it's in leadership. It certainly will have an impact in that I have the knowledge now, more knowledge than I had before I earned this degree, on what some of the constraints are when it comes to people and equity and diversity and inclusion, and what people go through and what it's like to be treated in an unfair way. I think I have the knowledge of that, and I also have like an understanding of how that happens and that intersectionality, what's at play when people are discriminated against. I hope that stories come out of this, that I get ideas and that I see things differently. My worldview and the way I look at the world because of that. Yeah, I hope so. I think my family is more excited than I am, because they've been whenever they call me now, they say, hi, Dr. Houston. And so my mother, you know, I talk to my mom. My family is not local, so I call my mom in the morning as I drive in, and that's how she addresses me now. It's kind of surreal. There were a number of times when I just rebelled and I just was like, I can't read another book. I cannot write another 30-page paper, and my dissertation was 157 pages. And there were times when I'm like, okay, we're Netflixing it today. I'm sort of giving myself and my mind a break for just, a couple of weeks, and then I think I'll start trying to figure out, what to do. I realized that this is a great opportunity, this is a great honor, lots of sacrifice, but yeah, I hung in there, so I'm glad it's over.
There we go.
If there's anything that I want to leave people with, especially women, is that there's a way to do it. Just don't give up. Just if I can inspire anybody, it's just sort of like, go for it, don't give up. Opportunities sometimes don't come back around again. The time was right to do this. So if you want to do it, ask a lot of questions, call up a lot of people, and move forward. Yeah, I think I'd like to say that. Move forward. And congrats. I'm Dr. Elaine Houston for Newschannel 13. That was good. I felt that. I felt that doctor that time, because I haven't said it, I've only written to people, so I just said it, and so that was pretty cool.